Welcome to IFS Voices of Industry, stories from people building the backbone of the world's industries with AI that actually works. Each episode features IFS experts who've worked on the front lines of industry, in manufacturing plants, energy grids, aircraft hangars, and construction sites. They bring real-world experience to the conversation, sharing what's changing, what's next, and how AI is being applied to make operations safer, faster, and more resilient. Today, I'm joined by James, the Senior Vice President of Global Industries and Solutions at IFS. James sits at the intersection of industry expertise, solution strategy transformation, and go-to-market, helping teams translate real operational complexity into clear customer outcomes. James, welcome to Voices of Industry.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go back to the beginning, James. You spent your early years in the defense and aerospace sector before moving into software leadership. So those environments, James, are absolutely unforgiving, whether it's reliability, safety, or traceability. How did being close to that kind of work shape the way that you think about risk and value today?
They're incredibly important, is the reality. So across the business, it drilled into me fundamentally that these things are not optional. They are inherent failure modes that have to be built in across every single process. And whether we look at things in supply chain or we look at things in manufacturing or in asset management, those failure modes and those risks have to be constantly looked at.
And on that note, James, where did you see the systems and data really help people do their jobs? And where did they perhaps get in the way?
Interesting question. So both I've seen in the past. I've seen systems that have, the best implemented systems are the ones that actually work around the challenges that we've got as part of the industry. So traceability was one of those key issues. I actually remember there being a report that had to be written that was actually traceability across thousands and thousands of items. And some of these things being built took weeks, months, in some cases even years to go and build. Thousands and thousands of transactions. On the flip side, I also saw, and this is kind of embarrassing but true, I can remember there being a process that was designed, and this is going back a few years, and as part of that process there was an automated email that was sent out to somebody for a traceability point of view. And I was actually standing behind somebody while this email came in and realized that they'd created an Outlook rule to automatically filter that into deleted items. That told me that it was not a well-designed process.
Oh gosh, that is terrible. And when you think about industrial AI in defense, what is the first kind of job that you feel it should be helping with?
Decision support, not decision replacement. That's for me the big thing that in defense and aerospace. So in areas where there are compliance and reliability checks, areas where the data is really strong, where we've got the data to back it up, but actually it's complicated and we actually still want there to be a human being in the loop, that's where I think AI has got an absolute part to go and play in the aerospace and defense sector.
Back to the present, you are now the SVP of Global Industries and Solutions. So when someone asks you what you do at IFS, what's your simplest, clearest answer?
My simplest, clear answer to that is my job is to make sure that across all of our different industries, our customers, our strategy is aligned to go and deliver the best possible outcome for them. So if a customer buys IFS and implements it well, and we deliver a solution that delivers true value, that is success for me, and that's what my responsibility and accountability.
So that also means you sit across all of IFS's industries, and you have really done a variety of roles across IFS over the last probably 10 plus years, right?
It makes me feel old now, but yes.
So how does that defense heritage and then this multi-year IFS experience show up in the way you challenge our product and the teams at IFS?
We're a fast-moving organization, and that means that I look at things and try to introduce that into my teams, that decisions have consequences, and we need to think those decisions through, but also move at pace. So part of this is having good people around you that understand the industries and understand the solutions, but also we look at this to delivering a real solution that is tangible and hits the ground running, whether it is something as part of a platform, an industry solution, whether it's part of an AI, digital worker, for example.
Exactly.
Those type of places, that's where I really think that we've got a part to play.
And of course, a lot of organizations now are still experimenting. And in your view, what's the turning point where AI stops being kind of a side project and starts becoming something leaders actually turn to trust to run real work?
There's probably a bit of cynicism, I think, around AI at the moment. But the reality is when we apply that AI in the context of the industries and the sub-industries that we've got and the solutions, that's when I think that trust actually starts getting built back up. We can prove the fact that we can go and deliver value through an AI lens because we understand the data, we understand the business problem. If you look at supply chain across aerospace and look at supply chain across a manufacturing business, they're very, very different. So a generic approach to this just won't work.
Exactly. And where do you think the organizations get these things wrong most often when they try to scale AI?
They get hit a lot by AI can go and solve everything across 300 different vendors. It's not as simple as that. I think that domain expertise is really, really critical. So the thing that I get most excited and passionate about is the fact that we have got such strong industry expertise across our domains.
You definitely do.
We've got the knowledge, and we actually are now putting that knowledge to play in the right AI spaces to deliver the most value to our customers. If it's done generically, I think there are inherent risks in that. And as I said before, with my defense heritage, risk is not something I like.
100% with you on that, James. And one final question at you. Looking a few years ahead, what change would you most like to see in our core industries? And what part do you think AI can genuinely play in this shift?
All of the industries we go and play in have real business challenges, whether it's aging workforces, for example. There's a real skills shortage across many of these at the moment. There's huge cost pressures and supply chain issues as well.
Of course.
These are business challenges. And when we go and apply those business challenges through an industrial lens, that for me is the biggest key to unlock the value that AI can undoubtedly bring our organizations.
Great insights in this episode. Thank you for joining Voices of Industry, James.
No problem at all.